G'day everyone, Steve Bowler here, Tenterfield Firearms. Had a lot of calls regarding the Shooters, Fishers, Farmers repeal bill for the terrorism and other matters legislation that was put up last year. That's going to be discussed in Parliament this week coming. So you've really got to, as a firearms owner, pull your finger out and get in touch with your local Member of Parliament and even members of the upper house, and just express that you will be actively campaigning against them if they don't support this repeal. It's a very clever piece of political manoeuvring that Banasiak's done here, in that he's forcing the Labor Party to, rename us all terrorists and terrorist sympathisers for our family members again, but without the heat of Bondi. It's now in a more cold-blooded manner. They've got to really nail their colours to the mast here. So for the Labor Party, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on those regional Labor Party seats and Western Sydney Labor Party seats for sure. The interesting thing that it's going to do with the coalition is, the Nationals have been running around for the last 6 months pretending to be the best friend of firearms owners and so forth. Now, personally, I'm old enough to remember the ammo bill and the Adler fiasco and all the rest of the nonsense that the National Party here in New South Wales has done to us. Not even bringing into focus what the National Party did in 1996 and then again in 2002 with regards to the original buyback and then the pistol buyback. So, forgetting all that, let's just concentrate on the terrorism and other matters bill. Now, a lot of people run around calling it the TOLA legislation. I don't sort of let them gussy it up like that. It is the terrorism and other matters bill where you and your family were labelled terrorists. So never let them get away with, cleaning up the language of that bill. But in regards to the coalition, what it's doing to them, the Nationals, as I say, have been running around pretending to be the best friend of firearms owners for the last 6 months. But their coalition partner voted for this legislation. And if they don't vote for the repeal of the legislation, if the Liberal Party don't vote for the repeal of the legislation, then it really brings into focus, why the hell would you vote for the Nats? Because they're in coalition with a party that actively besmirches their constituents as terrorists. Why would you give someone like that your vote? I wouldn't. So it's really going to put a lot of pressure on the coalition. Hopefully we can get a good outcome with this bill and just get the whole thing scrapped, because it's not had any benefits to community safety. There has not been one firearm that has been collected since this whole nonsense has started. And they had to ram it through right before Christmas. They had to make sure that we were all smeared with that terrorism label right before Christmas last year. So it's obviously isn't that important for a community safety aspect. And in fact, the community safety aspects of what has happened with the registry since, the fact that people cannot get their license renewals, they cannot get their change of genuine reasons, all this sort of nonsense that is falling through the cracks, and the time frames that have blown out for simple tasks at the registry certainly isn't benefiting community safety. So we will see what happens with this bill, but in terms of what you can do as a firearms owner here in New South Wales, get in touch with your local member, call their office, send them an email, let them know that you will be expecting them to support the repeal of this terrorism and other matters legislation, that you don't accept being labelled a terrorist and you don't accept your family members being labelled terrorist sympathisers, put the onus on them. And remember, yeah, it's very simple to join a political party that fights for you here in New South Wales. Generally costs less than the price of a box of ammo. Why would you not? Why, if you are not a member of a political party, I obviously recommend Shooters, Fishers, Farmers. They've been the ones fighting this nonsense for over 30 years now. But, you've got One Nation there as well. The Liberal Democrats, or whatever they call themselves now, the Libertarian type party, they're there as well. I don't think they do particularly useful things for us, but that being said, they are pro-gun. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of the stupid decisions that they've made in the past, but we're moving forward. There are political parties who you can join to absolutely make your voice known. Get out there on election day and election week, pre-poll and things like that, and hand out. And really remember, your vote matters. Your vote absolutely matters. And if you don't use your vote, you will have a local member that is happy to call you a terrorist. And as a student of history, I'm smart enough and old enough to know what happens when your government starts to label you a terrorist and takes away your firearms and your free speech rights and your rights to privacy and so forth. Nothing good happens with that. So it's an interesting time in New South Wales politics. There's absolutely no two ways about that. And I would encourage you this week, get in touch with your local member and encourage them to vote for Banasiak's repeal bill.